If it looks like I whipped this up in 3 minutes, you'd be correct. It's whipped up in 3 minutes, which is about 6 minutes shorter than that one long stretch of no scoring. We did that and we were still within five. What a fucking shame. So, I did think of doing an NCAA game recap, but I'm not going to waste my time with that. You know exactly how the story goes. Turn the ball over too many times. They can hit threes, but not enough of them. And they can't shoot free throws. Now, I have a list of four numbers on here. That may seem random, but you could probably guess what a couple of them are. 4 of 8, that obviously represents the free throws that we had. Louisville had made 9, by the way. The ending refereeing was questionable, but doesn't overtake the fact of this number. Now, on the broadcast, they said this number was 24, but from my sources, it looks like more like 20. And that's the amount of turnovers we had. Yeah, 20 turnovers in this game. We averaged like 14, and we hit that like at the beginning of the third quarter. 6.9. Now, this might be a little weird. I mean, it's kind of a nice number, but what is that? Well, that is the field goal percentage difference between us and them. The problem was that we made fewer field goals. They went 25 of 67. Pretty terrible shooting, right? We went 23 of 52. A good percentage, but the thing is that back to this number. Yeah, it's because we committed 20 turnovers. 20. Oh, and what's this? What's this? 21 down here? Oh, that is the amount of offensive and defensive rebounding. I just realized. They had the same Louisville had the same amount of defensive rebounds as offensive rebounds. You know how fucking insane that is? There were sequences of 3, 4 offensive rebounds for them. We cannot box out for whatever reason, and I do not understand why. What is the problem? But that's enough about the game, because I could talk about that for another hour. Just like a certain other thing. Now, we kept our fouls down pretty well. Except for Prince. Yeah, she fouled out, but the thing is that... Okay. That fifth foul was not right. The fifth foul on an offensive foul for when the Louisville player clearly steps in her way. Like, yeah, she probably should have taken a jumper there. But still, man, what the fuck is that? You do not call that. But whatever, it's fine. Let's just look at the season to make me feel a little less pain. Bad things. We didn't beat Iowa at home despite beating them on the road. Our big test against Ohio State did not go well. I mean, it went okay, but yeah, 25-17 kind of hurt. That road trip to California was pretty terrible. I don't think many of the teams that we were banking on to make the NCAA tournament actually did. Our wins, not the Kansas City one. No, get that out of here. Not you either, because you sucked. Southern. Yeah, how did Southern do? Well, they made it out of the first four. It's fine. Southeastern Louisiana. Anyway. So, there was a lot of ups and downs. The beginning of the season was pretty standard. I mean, winning all of the games except for Creighton for some reason. Creighton had a higher seed, by the way. That's because they were second in the Big East, but also, lol, they were second in Big East in both men's and women's, and not even they got shut out in the finals. It's fine. They are a 9 seed in both tournaments. That's funny. That's real funny. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Yeah. The downs kind of hurt. The run from February until now was terrible. A loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. And then the tournament, Big Ten tournament happened. Played in one of the worst games I've ever seen. And then played in a worst game I've ever seen. Yeah. Yeah, it was... The season kind of was the same story as last year, minus the Big Ten tournament run all the way to the end. Didn't get a bye in the Big Ten tournament. Got a worse seed in the NCAA tournament. And didn't win a game. Now, I don't really know if this is the hot take here or if this is something that others feel, but I don't know if Amy Williams is going to take us as far as we should. I believe that this team's ceiling is of a team that can be ranked the entire season, like an Ohio State or a Maryland. By the way, only 4 teams in the Big Ten are ranked in the top 25. How terrible of this league. Anyway, if we look at Oregon, for example, Oregon actually won as the 10 seed, despite the fact they were kicked out in the first round of the Big Ten tournament that they played, of course. That is, despite the fact that we had beaten them, and they took a pretty fat L to Washington at the end of the year, coming in with no momentum, and then going out and beating Vanderbilt in overtime. That's somewhat of progress. I mean, I don't know what Oregon did last year, but this year, you at least won a tournament game. You get to go on to the second round and get your ass kicked by an unknown team, but hey, you did it. You did it. You had the same amount of conference wins as us. It's fine. Meanwhile, we were in the top half. We at least got a first round bye last year. I mean, that was with, less teams had gotten byes. But, well, more teams got byes, but still. There wasn't enough progression for me to see that Amy Williams is going to take us beyond what it is right now. Because in my opinion, the worst place for a team to be stuck in is not futility. Futility means that you can kind of laugh at yourself knowing that your team is pretty bad. I would know. My men's basketball team was pretty shite for a couple years. Until that end of season run where we beat like 2 ranked teams. But up until that point, we were shit. Absolutely shit. Between the 7th seed and the 11th seed as a Big Ten, a Big ACC, any of the Power 5 conferences, any of those, you are stuck in the, I could even extend it to the 6th seed. The 6 to 11 range, where you might win a game, but in women's basketball, your ass gets kicked in the second round by the bigger team. Those teams up there are scary as shit. I pray for Louisville, because Louisville might die next round with how they played against us. TCU is licking their fucking chops, knowing that Louisville is not that good. Okay? This isn't me coping, because if I was coping, I'd say that Louisville is better than TCU. But they aren't. They just straight up aren't. I can't say anything more than that. They just aren't. So, obviously, the next step is to get a new round of players. But the thing is that we had already gotten a new round of players. Okay? And don't you even think that you can blame this entire season on one injury. Because the only way you can blame an entire season on one injury is if this win counter is not in the 20s. Okay? This team still won 20 games. It took the Big Ten tournament, but we still won 20 games. We still won double-digit Big Ten games. So what's up with that? The team still played decently without Potts, but it's not enough. It's not enough. I don't think Potts would have given us more than an 8 seed, maybe a 7 seed would be back in this scenario. But this team does not have enough. I think it's partially in the recruiting, and that I don't know how good of Amy Williams is at recruiting, and also the whole thing that is still over our heads a year later. We still don't know what the fuck that is. There hasn't been like a dismissal or like a verdict at all. It's been a year. I mean, I know court systems take billion years, except during political things, but it still isn't good. It still isn't good enough to break through. And I think Nebraska has the funding. I think it has the fame in order to break through. And this is the exact same thought process I have with the men's basketball team. Those two teams have enough money and they have enough fame to break through the barrier that they are at now, which is a 6-11 second round exit. Once you break through that, that's when you actually are able to snowball that into becoming a consistent top 3 seed team in the NCAA tournament. Top team, top dog in the Big Ten. The one that everyone fears. The one that everyone is like, oh God, this team is on the schedule on February 17th. That's not good. That's not good. That's in the middle of a run. Damn it. We're like, oh no, that's a part of the team that's the hard, like a part of the hard part of the schedule. We are not that yet. We are not consistently in the top 25. So we're just going to be stuck in this. Maybe ranked in the preseason, but you know what preseason doesn't care for? What actually happens in the regular season. There's just momentum. We got deranked and never ranked again. Because we didn't play good enough. We need better talents. We need a different direction. I don't think the only thing that the team is consistently good at is threes. The team is pretty good at threes. They were number 1 in the Big Ten in threes. I'm not entirely sure if that's luck or skill. I don't really know. But one thing I do know is that the players are not going to stay in this mediocrity. If Prince leaves, if Prince leaves this program, I will not. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, okay, go on to do better things. Go a better Big 12 team. Like, I would not blame him. I would not blame her. I wouldn't blame any of the other players on the team that look at what the current outlook is and say, this is not going to further my career. Like, yeah, I know women's basketball is not necessarily like men's basketball where it's all about the moolah. But you can find moolah at other places. There are teams that will dish out a couple 100,000 because they have the willingness to spend the money. We don't. So just shit has to change. Shit has to change. If last year was the peak, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's all I can see from now. If that is the peak, that is not going to be enough. It's just not going to be enough. And again, I believe this team can be better. This team has the funding. This team is in the Big Ten. In the Big Ten, the only game in this town, not doing anything. Yeah, Creighton exists. Yeah, I know we have to fight recruits with Creighton every once in a while. But the thing is that Creighton recruits out east. They recruit out in the east where all the other Big East teams are because that's where they get them. That's where they get it. They're like, hey, you can go play at Madison Square Garden. You can go play at, you can go play in New York, in New Jersey, in all those East Coast teams. You can go play there while still being at this elite university and getting your medical degree. They recruit out west, not east. We can recruit out west. Most of the star talent is either coming from the South or the West these days. California has a big-ass monopoly on a lot of players. Okay, we don't touch the South because we're in the Big Ten. That's SEC country, and we can't really do anything with that except Texas. But we have places to recruit. And Nebraska women's high school basketball is enough to sustain a decent amount, but we can recruit elsewhere. And yet we're not even getting close to that. Even if it takes a reset year for a new coach, I think that's what this team needs. A reset. Whether it's players, whether it's the coach. There needs to be change. Because as a Big Ten team, as a mid-tier Big Ten team, it is very hard to make yourself look different. This team is not different from the others in the middle of the pack in the Big Ten. Other than that, they were able to squeak in based off of previous reputation into the NCAA tournament and then lose pretty horrifically. Not terribly, just horrifically. It's sustainable, but it's not the good kind of sustainable. It's just not. If last year is the peak, we have to do something now. Now. There's nothing really against Amy Williams. I know I've been saying a lot of shit in this about Amy Williams. Probably too late now because no one's watching it. But there are good qualities of her. She definitely did something to the team. She definitely does do recruiting okay. But we don't need okay recruiting. We need very good recruiting. She can find decent talent. We need great talent. Got lucky once with Brett Prince. I don't know if we're going to get lucky again at this rate. especially since a lot of, like, a good amount of the players are seniors or juniors that could leave whenever they want. It's sad that it ends early. It's sad. Amy Williams is good to jumpstart a team to get them to this point, but I don't think she has enough to get us farther than this. I think if she were able to go and coach a different team in a like go to coach a team like Wisconsin or something. Like, I fucking hate it because she'd go to Wisconsin, but Wisconsin needs a jump start. She'd be perfect for it. Get enough in-state talent, get enough talent from outside, and suddenly, boom, they're winning 9 games in the conference. Like, she's good at that, but I don't know if she's good at taking us to the level after that. There needs to be someone else that takes us to that level. I can't name names because I'm pretty terrible at that. But there has to be someone out there that we can steal. We have the financial power. We have it. I know we have it. I know we have it. We have that surplus, even if certain things are happening. We have it, but if we're not using it, and that's quite sad. If we can just it's just disheartening to see that we're in this state right now of Big Ten mediocrity. Something that can occasionally stun the better teams, but also be equally possible to lose or play close games against Rutgers. Still not forgetting that Rutgers loss a year ago. It's, once again, there needs to be another jump start. There needs to be the start up again. Because I don't know if there isn't a player out there that is going to want to come to Nebraska at this point. They don't see the upside. Their agents don't see the upside, that's for sure. There just needs to be something different. And if it has to go with Amy Williams' firing, then so be it. So be it as the business of Nebraska women's basketball. I will continue to watch this team, even if she is here or if she's not. Because that is who I am. I am just a fan who wants to voice his opinions so that they just aren't internalized forever. So I started this channel. Just a vent, of course. But I think that'll be it from me. I definitely ranted a lot and said a lot of the same things. But I hope the one thing that you can take away is that Nebraska can be better than this. And I hope that they will be better than this. I hope there's improvement next year. There needs to be somewhere in the 25 win range. 25 wins, single-digit losses. That's what I want. That's what I believe that even Amy Williams can achieve at this current state. I believe that. She can get us there. Maybe that's what Potts is, but I doubt it. 1-2 games that we would win. Yeah. That'll be it. I'll see you for the men's basketball recap. When we play in 10 days. I hate the fact that it's on March 31st when it starts. Whatever. It's fine. Anyway, see you guys then. Bye.